There are 4 important parts in a motor vehicle to be cleaned to keep it running properly. The first is the throttle body, which should be cleaned every 60 to 90,000 miles. Second is the engine air filter, which should be cleaned every 5 to 10,000 miles, and this should be replaced every 30,000 miles. Third is the mass airflow sensor, which should be cleaned at the time of replacing the engine air filter, which should be changed every 30,000 miles. Fourth and finally is the fuel injector, which should be cleaned every 60 to 90,000 miles. Many do-it-yourselfers forget to clean these critical parts, and in this video I will take you through the process of cleaning just the throttle body as well as the mass airflow sensor. Here I have a 2014 Toyota Highlander, but the process will be similar on most modern Toyota motor vehicles and other make motor vehicles. Before I get started, it is important to note that the throttle body will get very dirty over time, and the ECU will make minor adjustments to the air-to-fuel ratio along the way. This may prevent obvious signs that the throttle body needs to be cleaned. Sometimes, the signs of a dirty throttle body becomes obvious after the car battery is disconnected and reset the ECU. However, after the throttle body is cleaned, you will notice an improvement in the vehicle's performance. You may also experience a higher than normal idle at the first start after the throttle body is cleaned. That is expected because the computer will also need time to adjust to the now cleaned throttle body. With that out of the way, let's clean the throttle body and the mass airflow sensor. These are the products I will be using. This is a throttle body cleaner which should only be used on the throttle body because this doesn't leave any residue and evaporates quickly. This is the mass airflow sensor cleaner, which should only be used on the mass airflow sensor. Any other cleaner may damage the mass airflow sensor. I will also be using a microfiber rag for cleaning the throttle body. I will also be using a star head screwdriver to remove the airflow filter tube. Let's get this air filter box and tube off. Release these 2 clips here. Remove this hose. Disconnect the mass airflow sensor wire. Remove this hose. Take this hose out of the way. Unscrew this bolt here that holds the air filter tube to the throttle body. Now I can pull the air filter tube off the throttle body. You may need to twist and pull to get it off. There is one clip at the back of the air filter housing right here that holds the harness of the mass airflow sensor. Release this clip and tuck the wires out of the way. Now the air filter box and tube are out of the way. It's a good time to inspect the air filter and clean it if it is dirty. Look for oils, which could indicate that the PCV valve might be stuck. Let's move on. So this is the inside of the throttle body, and from my inspection, this is not very dirty compared to others. The objective here is to clean this thing right here, which is called the butterfly, and where it comes in contact with the throttle body. I will clean the throttle body while it is still on the intake manifold, but the throttle body may be easier to clean if it is removed by removing these 4 bolts here. Removing the throttle body will require the gasket between the intake manifold and the throttle body to be replaced. When cleaning the throttle body, it is important to not push the butterfly too hard. Take your time and push with a steady motion like this to not damage the motor inside. So I will take the microfiber cloth, spray the throttle body cleaner on it and wipe away the carbon built up inside. I will start at the bottom section of the throttle body. As you can see here, it is not very dirty. After finishing with the bottom, I will go to the top section. Then after the top and the bottom sections are clean, I will go to the butterfly. When cleaning the butterfly, focus on the edges. I will clean the top edge here, then the bottom edge facing inside. For the edge at the inside, I will just reach in with my fingers and feel for it because I won't be able to see it. I will keep cleaning until I'm satisfied. The throttle body is now nice and clean, and you can see that the groove that the edge of the butterfly will sit is very clean, and the edge of the butterfly is clean as well. That's the objective. I will now clean the mass airflow sensor. Remove these two screws that hold the mass airflow sensor in place and pull the mass flow sensor out. The hot wires or sensor wires are in this little space here. I will use the mass airflow sensor cleaner and make 10 to 15 sprays on these wires. It is important not to use the throttle body cleaner. Ensure that the cleaner is the mass airflow sensor cleaner and never allow the tip of the straw here to touch the wires. Hold the sensor with a cloth to avoid fluid runoff. Leave it to dry before reinstalling. I would say 30 minutes would be a good time to wait. Reinstall the air filter housing and tube. Reinstall the clip for the mass airflow sensor wire. Do not make the mistake I just did. This wire should be on top of the air filter tube. Reconnect these two hoses. Ensure that these two edges fit properly in the two hooks. Fasten these two metal clips. Reinstall the mass airflow sensor with the two screws. Tighten the bolt that secures the mass airflow sensor tube to the throttle body. All that is left to do is to reconnect the mass airflow sensor connector, but I will leave it unplugged for a little while before I reconnect, just to ensure that it is properly dried. As I mentioned earlier, when you start the vehicle after cleaning the throttle body, the idle might be very high, but do not panic. This is normal at the first start. Drive the vehicle for a few hours and the ECU will make adjustments back to the normal idle. I hope this video helped. Thanks for watching. And as always, until next time.